Welcome. You happen to have met me right during dinner time, which is pretty much the only time I have to myself. So let's talk about the title of this video and the truth behind it, and that is how I got to 10,000 TikTok followers in 50 days. Actually, in less than 50 days, but we'll say 50 for the sake of a nice round number. For those of you that are new to the channel, welcome. My name is Pam Matani. I'm a lawyer, an entrepreneur, a luxury lover. That's how you're meeting me on this luxury lifestyle channel I have. Although admittedly, perhaps TikTok is not inherently a luxury item, although one could argue it could lead to a very, very luxurious standard of living, and certainly has for some. I'm still starting, but I do think I've been off to quite a good start, and I wanted to share that with you as somebody that has been through the trenches on other platforms, including, hello, on YouTube. So let's talk about it. First, I am having my dinner now, like I said. If you want, I can show you, let me find mine first. I can show you what I'm having. So this is like my favorite thing. I'm here at my villa in Mauritius. We're on vacation. Kind of moved here actually. Moved here / vacation, a very long vacation. But anyways, this is my favorite thing I like to eat here. And this is heart of palm salad, if you can see that. This is smoked marlin. It's a kind of fish. And the rest is like whatever salad they feel like making that day. Oh, and I love this. This one is a staple too. It's like vinegared pineapple, like so good. Anyways, so let's talk about it. Why are we talking about TikTok to begin with? Obviously, you and I are talking through YouTube. TikTok has always been something that I've always been TikTok curious. So why TikTok? TikTok has had a remarkable ability to transform people's lives in hours. Forget days, months, weeks, months, or even years. Shout out to friends. TikTok has demonstrated time over time the ability to transform individuals' lives over hours. And sure, why would I not want that to happen to me and have my life become, even better than it is right now? But more than that, or as much as that, is also, I believe that TikTok, when it goes really well, can have you hit really large numbers of followers. Case in point, here on YouTube, I'm at around 2,000 followers now. That's what it says on the back end. And it has taken, I've had this channel for maybe about 2 years, but it's probably taken about a year of consistent posting to get to that. It has been a slower build. YouTube for me is a more long-term game. TikTok is one that has potential, unlike any other app I have ever seen in my life, to create exponential growth. And while I said, there's the dichotomy of little Pam or young Pam, like the inner child inside of us, little, I mean, not little in size, but there's the dichotomy of little Pam that's so excited by the big numbers and the TikTok oohs and ahs and everything that comes with that. And genuinely knowing that the higher numbers I can hit, the more people I can empower with my messages, the more authentically I can share my messages as to all the difficulties I've been through life that led me to this point. But then there's the other side of, businessman P, aggressive, hustling, bustling lawyer, entrepreneur P, or Pam. In my personal life, I get called P, Pam, and that side sees TikTok as an incredible growth tool, growth funnel, but for a very different reason than just the excitement of social media and virality. So again, I don't really have much negative to say about TikTok if used correctly, right? You have people saying more money, more problems. So if people can find a way to talk down about money, of course there's gonna be negatives we can say about TikTok. Okay, maybe I should. If the eating in the video turns you off, let me know. I personally like it when I see it. It makes me feel like I'm closer to the person and we can eat together. But anyways, so let's talk about my 2 secrets that I would say are not so secret, but my 2 keys to growth on TikTok. And I have to say, some of this is retrospective, right? So as I was doing these things, I wasn't necessarily aware that this was gonna blow the account out of the water. Again, not in the sense of I don't have 100 million followers. yet, or even 1 million followers yet. However, objectively, 10,000 followers in 50 days is, I think, like a 99th percentile kind of metric. It's very, very high. 1% of accounts have that kind of growth based on objective data. Keep in mind, again, I'm a lawyer, so based on objective data and articles I've reviewed. And that 10,000 mark, while in Canada we don't monetize, doesn't matter where in the world I am, like I said, in Mauritius, being one of my, passports, being Canadian, I don't monetize the way you would in the US if you're watching this there. Anyways, so like I mentioned, as I was posting, I was just excited. I was just excited to finally get to posting on TikTok. I had the account for probably years. October 5th, 2025 is the day I can tell you, like I actively started posting. And looking back, 2 things that I did really well on TikTok were, one was consistent posting times. I had seen the articles, I had seen the TikToks, I had seen the posts, 3 times a day is the key. I knew I couldn't do that because there comes a point where I'm either going to be repetitive or too much for you to handle. I have a lot of deep stuff to say, a lot of wisdom, because I've gone through, I always say I've gone through, in 30 years of life, more than other people, 50-year-olds have gone through in their lives. And I stand by that. So the wisdom I have and the content I can share with others is quite profound. However, there comes a point where you're not going to be able to handle that. So I knew I couldn't do 3 in terms of comfortably doing it, and also doing it in a way that you'd want to see 3 posts a day. And 1 wasn't going to be enough in a platform where people are putting it all out there in terms of like making it their livelihood and so desperate and so eager to become TikTokers. So I went with the golden middle twice. But how I structured that too, I think looking back and with everything I've researched, was the key to my success. I structured my 2 posts as a good morning post and a good evening post. You could do 2 posts, at 12 and 12:05 noon. Right? And then the next day you do a post at 7 and 7:15 a.m. That is technically 2 posts a day. Maintaining regularity and consistency, both mean the same thing. As to my twice a day, I think has been something that has really, really, really helped. The algorithm knows I'm there for it, and baby, I am there for it, feeding it every day, twice a day, like a little baby. So I think that's really helped. The second thing, and personally, when I'm on the other side of watching like these help videos, I hate seeing this one because I'm like, But the second thing that's really helped is being authentic in what I post. I had dabbled before, or case in point, even earlier this year, I talked about on this channel, I ran an experiment on this YouTube channel, which I think profoundly held me back and tanked my channel. My views went down by like 80% after running an experiment to exclusively listen to what ChatGPT would recommend for my channel for a quarter. In business terms, that just means 3 months. And after that quarter experiment, my metrics on YouTube tanked. Hello, by the way, how about you show this video some love? Like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Are you trying TikTok? What have been your keys to success? Or, what's your TikTok dream? Any TikTok comment, let me know, let me see it. I'll respond and we'll keep growing together. But anyways, so I had seen firsthand the impact that lack of authenticity had. And I had posted this YouTube video before on how chat tanked my channel, and I was aware of the risk I was taking, but I had to run a true experiment. I didn't want to read chat and then edit the thought. I wanted to read chat, do, and that's what I did. I took the risk, it didn't pay off. Now we're back, okay? But anyways, the lack of authenticity really shows. I had also, like years ago, experimented a little bit with TikTok because you know me as a lawyer, as a business owner, as a YouTuber, but there's so many other parts of my life. Like cooking is something I'm really, really good at. Most people that eat my food remark on how it's better than most restaurant foods. So I had started like a cooking TikTok, and that is something that was authentic to me. However, it is so superbly high effort that to put together, this is back like in the very beginning days of TikTok, and you'll know that by what I'm about to say, because the videos were capped at like 6 seconds or 8 seconds back in the day. Now it can be like 10 minutes long, no problem. But so I had done the TikTok. To post a 6-second cooking TikTok would take me 2 hours to film. And what that meant is that the pressure would build up, build up, build up, build up. And then I would go a day without doing it because it was too much pressure for that day. I couldn't fit 2-3 hours of filming in my day. But once you miss a day, then the second day you're like, forget it, I missed it yesterday, I'll come back tomorrow. And then the third day you're like, well, what's the point? I've been out of the game for a week, and so on and so forth, right? The good compounds in life, the bad compounds. And that was, again, while authentic, way too much effort. I don't want you to mistake that with TikTok as not worth the effort. It obviously is, but it has to be effort that can be combined with, tip number 1, which is consistency. So now my TikToks are much more natural. It's me talking to the camera. And one thing I don't want you to be confused about, and this is kind of me saying it out loud and affirming myself and validating myself, sometimes I worry that my current content comes across as less effort. There are still TikTokers out there putting, forget hours, putting days, weeks into clipping together a TikTok about a trip or a vacation, something like that. Where my effort comes in with my current TikToks is that I have experience behind what I talk about. It's the life effort that it took for me to put a 6-second clip up now. It's having gone through extreme poverty, extreme traumas, through, being physically abused, mentally abused, emotionally abused, homelessness, this and this and this and that. And that I can package it together and still be strong and still have a smile and share a, motivational message or just a daily check-in, a human to human check-in. That is where the effort now comes in. It's effort you don't see, but in a way that I can package it in a way that I can package it and preserve consistency in my posts, because without consistency, the algorithm will cut you. A bonus tip I want to say, and this one is kind of, you'll know what I mean when I say it, when I explain it. It's not really something that can be replicated, but one observation, I should say, a bonus observation to share at the end of this video, is that prior to growing on TikTok, and I still, as of the time of filming this video, I have not hit 2 months on TikTok yet, but nonetheless, I have 2 months worth of observations, or just short of. Prior to growing on TikTok and getting at the stage that I am, which again, not 1 million followers, but still objectively ahead of most people on TikTok at this point, I would have thought that the build comes consistently daily in terms of reward from the algorithm. I'm consistent with it and it's going to be consistent with me. Out of my first batch of 10,000 TikTok followers, close to 5,000 of them, close to 50% of my channel was built off of one video that went, I don't know what the metrics are for virality these days, but this video is pushing 250,000 views. And that gave me almost 5,000 followers. I'll post the data here on the screen as of the time of editing, the mega edits we do on this channel, of editing this video. I mean, the more I edit, the less authentic it gets again. So it's a choice for me to preserve authentic footage. That observation has surprised me, because you can go days of 50, 100 followers and then 5,000. And actually I grew so fast from that video that TikTok was brutal to me for the week or two after, because it naturally mistook my growth as being artificial, as being bought in the sense of purchased, although I guess BOT applies as well. It clearly flagged something how could this channel, prior to getting that hit video, I was sitting at about 2,000 views. How could 2,000 followers? How could a 2,000 follower channel get 5,000 followers overnight? Right? So I understand why that surprised the algorithm, but it punished me hard. Side note, but it still averaged out to 10,000 followers in less than 50 days. My last note, because it wouldn't be a Pam video if I didn't sprinkle yet some more, wisdom in there, or life experiences. I share this for a reason, because I didn't have people to share this kind of real talk with me when I was growing up, is that going on TikTok and exposing yourself emotionally can be highly vulnerable, of course. But in life, we choose our battles. It's gonna be a hella scary ride to please your boss man or your boss woman for the next 50 years of your life. TikTok is scary, but so is pleasing another adult for 50 years. TikTok is scary, but so is being broke. TikTok is scary, but so is XYZ. You pick your battles. And adding TikTok to my list now is something I can chew through and I can manage. I know myself, I can do it now. Again, because so much of the work I'm putting on TikTok is on the back end. Kind of like, you know, being a lawyer, sometimes people are shocked at our fees and they're like, an hour of work was $1,000, $500. What you don't see is that to be able to perform this task in 1 hour, I had to follow 8 years of post-secondary education and training. That's what you're paying for. You're not paying for the literal hour. So again, same thing with my TikTok. As scary as it is, the life experiences I've had so far, which I'm thankful for, even for the hard ones, have made it so that it now flows easy for me. And I'm very, very, very excited to see where that ride takes me. Again, from both a little P perspective, little Pam, I forgot that you guys don't know me as P, but also from a businessman perspective, you know, seeing the growth and the opportunities that'll come out of having, you know, God willing, a continuously, steadily, and strong growing TikTok account. If you are on the fence about making that jump, do it. What are you scared of? You are already guaranteed TikTok failure by never posting. So congrats, you failed. That's step number 1. Now let's get to step number 2, bring in some views and follows. I'll see you on the next one.